Hello guys, welcome back. Let me wait for you coming. Hello. Today we are about to rewatch 2 episodes in a row because unfortunately this week we can. So, okay, feel free to join me. In the meantime, I wait 30 seconds as always. I prepare something to drink because I really needed a drink today. And then we are about to analyze the subjects involved in this episode, plus the theories. So many things to do. Okay, a little bit of green tea. Are you ready? And to start, let's start with episode 14. Is this one episode 14? Yeah. Okay, are you ready, guys? Let me watch it.
なんで私を守ったの？別に理由があったわけじゃない。
Hello, everyone.
あんたたちの大切な仲間を殺したのは私。看守を石でめった打ちにしたのも私。ファルコは違うから殺すのは私だけでいいでしょ。殺さないよ。私を殺したくて仕方ないんでしょ。殺したくないよ。殺すって。君はそればっかりだね。誰かとそっくりだ。
静かに話したい。エルディアの問題を解決するのに争いは無用だ。ハンジさんたちなら大丈夫。ここから移動してもらっただけだ。
エレン、君と話したかったのは僕らの方さ。どうして単独でマーレ襲撃に至る選択をしたのか。本当にジークやイエレナに回収されてしまったのか。
俺は自由だ。俺が何をしようと、何を選ぼうと、それは俺の自由意志が選択したものだ。
イエレナと密会した後の行動もエレンの自由意志なの。
そうだ。
いいえ、あなたは操られている。あなたは敵国とはいえ、関係のない人々や子供を巻き込むような人じゃない。そして、誰よりも私たちを思い、大切にしてきた。
Keep believing it.
そうでしょ。あの山小屋で私を助けてくれたのは、マフラーを巻いてくれたのは、あなたが優しいからでしょ。
手はテーブルの上に置けと言っただろう。
Anyway, it's yes, because he interrupted you, Mikasa. So it's yes.
俺はレベリオでジークと話をした。兄弟水入らずだな。ジークは巨人についてマーレが知っている以上の知識を手にしている。
Yeah. But later I'm going to tell you one thing.
お前はまだ兄のところに通っているだろう。それは本当にお前の意志か。
何を。
記憶が人を形成するのなら、お前の一部はベルトルトになっちまったんだよ。敵国兵に恋心を抱く敵国兵にな。アルミ。
Yeah, as much as
お前の方はベルトルトにやられちまった。
is inside of
敵に
Zeke,
操
right?
られているのはお前の方だろう。
エレン、あなたは。
ミカサ、お前もだ。アッカーマン一族はエルディアの王を守る意図で設計されたんだよ。
Yeah, this is true.
あの時お前は死に直面する極限状態の中で俺の命令を聞いた。戦えと。
This could be true.
その瞬間、お前の本能が目を覚ましたんだ。
But
偶然俺を護衛すべき宿主だと錯覚したことで。
違う。
違う。何がだ。
偶然じゃない。
Eren, you can't understand the feeling she felt in that moment. Come
あな
on.
ただから、
Yeah,
エレンだから、
yeah.
私は強くなれた。それはあなただから。
力に目覚めたアッカーマンは突発性の頭痛を起こすことがよくあったらしい。
This is true
本
too.
来の自分が宿主の護衛を強いられることに抵抗を覚えることで生じるらしいが、
Yeah, but
心当たりが。
ない。
要するに、
違う。私は、
本来の自分を失い、ただ命令に従うためだけに作られた一族。つまりは奴隷だ。
やめろ、エレン。
俺がこの世で一番嫌いなものがわかるか。不自由なやつだよ。
yeah, so you hated Zeke too, right?
そいつを見ただけでムカムカしてしょうがなかった。その理由がやっとわかったよ。何の疑問も抱かず、ただ命令に従うだけの奴隷が見るに耐えなかった。俺はガキの頃からずっと、ミカサ、お前が大嫌いだった。
よくもミカサ。ミカサ。
お前はただそうやってアッカーマンの血が反応するままに生きてきた。
違う。
お前はただ、それだけだ。
How sad. Oh, she didn't block this time. That means that she's not following any order.
イエガーさん。なんでもね。なあ、アルミ。お前とは昔から喧嘩したことなかったよな。なんでかわかるか。お前と俺じゃ喧嘩になんねえからだよ。
もう、やめて。
最初に言った通り、お前らがジークの居場所を教えるってんなら、俺たちは争う必要はねえ。だからおとなしくついてこい。連れて行け。はい。サシャを殺したガキもだ。
He needs Gabi, actually.
それで、結局何が言いたかったんだよ。ミカサを傷つけることが君の求めた自由か。どっちだよ。クソ野郎に屈した奴隷は。
誰が奴隷だ。行くぞ。
You.
どこに。
Cause you are.
志願しなくて。
冗談じゃねえ。巨人に食わせるべきクソ野郎は他にいる。
どういうことです？
ジークの獣を他の奴に移す。イエーガー派とかいうのを一人でも捕らえて巨人にし、ジークを食わせてやれ。エレンが本当にジークに操られているのか知らんが、ジークさえ失っちまえば、連中はおしまいだ。ピクシスにそう伝えろ。行け。
本気ですか、兵長。
奴の手足でももいでおけば、
He
腹くるだろう。
That book. That book.
読書は楽しいか？
面白いよ。7回も読んだ割には。
俺たちの会話が気になって集中できなかっただろ。
7回も読んだ本に熱中しろってか？
Maybe that book was a
ところ
Saga
で
book.
ワインはもう残ってないのか？
Could be.
一月もここにいるんだぞ。一滴も残ってねえよ。
まったく。ひでえ拷問を考えるもんだ。
読書を続けろ。
了解だ、ボス。
ピクシスの返答がどうであろうと奴を切る。完全武装の兵士が30名。この森を上から囲んでいる。
Ah,
獣の巨人だろうと
my.
奴に逃げる術はない。やはりヒゲ面野郎は俺たちの敵だった。それが判明した時点で、人質に手足をつけとく理由はねえよな。長かった。エルヴィン、あの日の誓いを、ようやく果たせそうだ。お前たちの死には意味があった。それをようやく。
証明できる。
But if that book is a Xava book, it makes sense. Fortunately, Levi didn't drink the wine. Fortunately.
なんだ今の。一瞬体がしびれて。俺もだ。
私はなんとも。
He prefers tea.
体中に電気が流れたような。まさか。やりよったな。別れた、兵長。部下思いがあんたのことだ。多少大きくなったぐらいで何にも悪くない部下を切り殺したりなんかしないよ
な。ないんだ。どうして任務中に酒がいる？
兵長、これは憲兵の連中しか飲めなかったマーレさんの希少なやつなんですよ。少しくらい楽しみがないと。
紅茶があるだろう。
We have tea, right? We have tea.
いいだろう。持っていけ。
ジークの脊髄液がワインにいつから仕込まれていやがった。体が硬直する余地はなかった。嘘だってか。くそ、早い。動きが普通じゃねえ。これもジークの仕業か。
Listen to this music. Come on. Do you remember at the end of season 3 part 1 when they started at the regain of Shiganshina? Oh, this music is great. Yeah. Wow, that's so beautiful. Listen to this music. A connection to Erwin. Do you remember? Oh, yes.
決別だ。お互いを信じることができなかった。全世界の勢力がもうじき、この島に集結してしまう。それがどういうことか分かっていない。自分たちには力がある。時間がある。選択肢がある。そう勘違いしてしまったことが、リヴァイ、あんたの過ち
Yeah,
だ。
but later I'm going to tell you one thing because...
俺の真意を話したところで、分かりっこないだろう。
Of course they will never understand.
ああ、エレン。俺たちにしか分からないよな。この森を抜ければ、すぐお前のもとだ。しかし、ちゃんと場所と時間を覚えているんだろう
I
な。
hope you remember when and where. Another great music. Yeah. Well, this moment is great. Come on.
なんだよ、もうまたかよ。
Penny's instructions. Listen. Woo. Yeah, but now you're provoking. You don't want to save here. You just want to provoke. Yes, he is, actually.
なんで勘違いしちまったんだ。俺から逃げられる。部下を巨人にしてから 俺が仲間を殺せないと思ったのか。俺たちがどれだけ仲間を殺してきたか知らねえだろうに。
Whoa. Whoa. I mean, Levi is Levi somehow.
よう、気がずら。くせえし、汚ねえし、ブサイクじゃねえか。クソが。なあ、殺しゃしねえから安心しろよ。すぐにはな。
Ah, that part that is moving. What the F is that?
兵団内やこの壁内の情勢は不安定な状況にある。だが貴様ら訓練兵には関係のないことだ。百景気訓練兵団は予定通り、巨人襲撃時の志願しなく防衛訓練を行う。
Yeah, 109, of course, because 5 year passed. Yeah.
わかったのか。
はい。今さら剣で巨人のうなじを切りつけるなんてな。もう巨人なんて襲ってこねえだろ。
Nah.
敵は壁外の人間なんだぞ。
If you only knew what's coming,
I mean,
they're about to attack. The rest of the world is attacking you. Be ready, because I'm not.
エルディアに希望があるとしたら、イェーガー派が国の実権を握ることだ。
スレマ、聞こえるぞ。
でも、みんなそう思っているだろう。みんなエレン・イェーガーにエルディアを導いてもらいたいはずだ。非常な決断も下せるような強い指導者に。
ハンジ！
お久しぶりです、教官殿。突然ですが、この兵団支部は我々が占拠しました。イエーガー派とか言われている我々が。
But do you understand
これよ
what
り
I'm
我々の指示
doing
に
or
従
not?
い動いてもらいます。
I don't think so. You don't even know.
身の程をよくわきまえているようだな、フロック。銃口でも向けない限り、貴様らのような小便小僧など、誰も相手にしないと考えているのなら。
Yeah, I want to see his face. When Eren will tell him, look, let me kill you. I want to see his face, yo.
とりあえず足でも打って話を早くしようと思ったんですが。 話とは何だ？
いや、あなたには関係ありません。頭の硬さしか取り柄のない老人なんて不要なんですよ。これからは、訓練兵諸君、君たちの時代だ！我々イエーガー派は、現在滅亡の危機にあるエルディアを救うために、心臓を捧げると誓った。それは、この古い兵団組織のためではなく、この島に住む民のためにだ。このまま時代遅れの兵団に従属していては、なすすべもなく、外の世界の敵に蹂躙されるのみだ。今君たちに問う。君たちは何者だ。我らエルディアの指導者、エレン・イェーガーと共に生きる者か。
You don't even know.
ここにいるキース・シャーディスと共に古い慣習と心中する者か。
This is ridiculous, yeah. I mean, he doesn't even know what's behind the Jaeger's plan.
エルディアの未来のために心臓を捧げます。
Do you understand why I am against the Shinzo Society? There's totally
シャー
different
ディス
things.
教官を足腰立たなくなるまで痛めつけろ。
Oh, come on.
これこそが我々が淘汰すべき悪習そのものだ。粛清してみせよ。それができない者は牢屋に入ってもらう。いい加減にしろ、フロック。バカな真似はよして。
Yeah, I agree with Hanji. This is ridiculous.
ひよっこどもが何人かかってきたところで相手にならん。よくやった。君たち全員を歓迎しよう。じゃあ、案内してもらいましょうか。ジークの交流地まで。ハンジ団長。おい、行くぞ。
Later, I'm going to tell you one thing. Many
目が
things.
覚めたか。おい、ラテ、動くんじゃない。ダイソーの新刊をつなぐワイヤーをお前の首にくくってやる。下手に動いたらお前は腹から爆発して、少なくとも2つになるだろう。こうなると死なねえってのも難儀だな。同情なんかしねえが。
Mm.
お前は俺の部下の命を踏みにじった。てめえがゲロクソまみれで泣きわめくのも、すべて計画通りか。うるせえな。こうやって切っておかねえと、てめえが巨人になっちまうだろうが。俺のメガネをどこだ。知るかよ。もうお前にメガネなんか必要ねえよ。
いいぞ、ジーク。いい球を投げるようになったな。将来は野球選手になるか？
ダメだよ。草ばあさん。僕には使命があるから。
Let's go on with episode 15.
私たちの住むレベリオ区が世界と比べれば鳥かごみたいに小さい。私たちはここからどこにも行けずに死ぬまでここで暮らさなきゃいけない。ジーク、お前はここから出たいと思わないか？
We start already.
出たい。
おや、珍しい。こんな朝早くにお客さんかい。また出直したしや。いえ、我々はもう帰ります。
Well, look at Zig's face, at Grisha's face already.
何を？私たちは外出許可を取っているのでしょう。俺はこの塔の清掃員で汚れを落とすのが仕事だ。俺の職場を怪我しやがったな、悪魔め。殺戮の限りを尽くした悪魔の末裔がまたガキ作って繁殖
Yeah,
しやがって。
there's a difference in face between Dinah and Grisha anyway, yeah?
収録から出てくるな。
Grisha is angry, but Dinah is
よく
sad.
覚えておけよ、チーク。 これが外の世界だ。
He will remember for
世
sure.
界が嫌なら変えなければならない。
Mm.
チーク、お前がみんなを救うんだ。人の称号を得ようと。この子供たちの中から私の後継者を。ええ、一人選ばれます。一人遅れている子がいるが、あの子は。ああ、またイエーガーか。他の子はみんな幼くも必死に名誉マーレ人の称号を得ようと努めているのに、
Yeah.
奴にはその気概がどうも見受けられない。全く何をしにここにいるのや
Yeah,
ら。
but he noticed the Yeager since that moment.
訓練
So.
はどうだ、ジーク。
Mm.
すごく大変。
そうか。でもお前ならきっと戦士になれる。
あなたには特別な力があるんだからね。
何よりお父さんとお母さんの子なんだからな。
Sure.
父さん、母さん、今晩もジークを頼むよ。ああ。
今日はジークの好物のパイを焼いたよ。
社交ダンスクラブなんて、ジークが寂しがっているぞ。
Well, dance club.
レベリオン結構
Dance
みたい
club.
だ。
いつかきっと私たちのやってきたことをジークも分かってくれますよ。
これが1200年前に起きた
Ah,
ラーゴ
we
の惨
start
劇。
already.
大都市ラーゴはこの日のうちに消滅し、侵攻を続けた巨人によってモンテの3階とヴァレの惨禍が繰り広げられ、何十万ものマーレ人がエルディア帝国に殺された。さらにラーゴから何とか逃れた難民は道なき荒野をさまよった。しかしエルディア帝国はその退路に巨人を仕掛け、夜明けとともに起き上がった巨人によってマーレ人が。
わかった。人がいっぱい死んだんでしょ。
お父さんはちゃんと正しい歴史を教えているか？
エルディア人はマーレ人にひどいことをしたから、僕たちはここで償わなくちゃいけないって。
ジークは戦士になってマーレのために戦いたいのか？
No. Can you imagine if he said
僕
no?
は戦士になりたい。
さあ、もう寝ないとな。
そうだ。今度は猫の家の本を読んであげましょうね。やった。
味！
Yeah, but later I want to tell you another thing. Look, I have so many things to tell you. Gara part 2 in this scene for sure. That's the same.
ジークか。
今日は早く終わったんだ。だから。
おお、そうか。じゃあ、たくさん勉強できるな。
If he said no
つまり、
all the
ナー
time,
ゴの
can
惨
you
劇は
imagine?
存在しなかったんだ。モンテの残骸もバレの惨禍も、すべてマーレに都合のいい作り話に過ぎない。古代よりエルディア人にそのような残虐な文化や風習はなく、何より
始祖ユミル様がそのようなことを望まないので、ありえない。
その通りだ。分かってきた。
One second, I have to check one thing. Really quick. Just a term, eh? I'm coming really soon. Because later I'm going to tell you one thing. What is that? Ah, okay. Yeah. Because now I noticed the one thing. Do you understand? Okay. Sorry for waiting. Let's go
だな、
on.
ジーク。やる気のない者は去れ。我は祖国に全てを捧げる覚悟のある者を求めているのだ。お前のようなエルディア人に我が国の巨人を委ねられるわけがないだろう。
Yeah, the same thing Reiner was told.
魚君、そのボール投げてくれないか。
Yeah, but Xava, did he meet Zeke on
ま
purpose?
だ小
Because
さいのにやるじゃないか。
he knew them. He knew him, okay?
ナイスキャッチ。壁相手も飽きたところだ。ちょっとおじさんに付き合ってくれないか。
I have a bad feeling.
赤い腕章、あなたは。
君たちが目指すマーレの戦士だ。もっとも私の獣の巨人はあまり戦争の役に立たないから、ここで玉遊びなんかしてるんだけど。トム・クサバー。本業は巨人学の研究者だ。ほら、君の名前は？
ジーク・イエーガーです。
おお、ジーク。どうも君は筋がいいな。きっとピッチャーに向いてるぞ。
But he knew that he was Yeager. Because he asked Magato previously.
ただいま。お父さん、今日ね。
どうなってるんだ、グライス。ジークを戦士にできなければ計画は失敗だぞ。だが、フクロウが言うには、巨人の継承者選びに介入するには、ジーク自身が構成
He knew that Falco was Grice. Do you understand what I mean?
100年待ったって来ないってこと。
まだジークにも可能性は残っているんでしょう。
そうだとも。ジークなら。
Mamma mia, Grisha.
ごめんなさい。
ジーク、お前ならできる。父さんと母さんの子供なんだからな。
お前はマーレに必要ないと言ったはずだが、 なぜここにいる？
マーレへの忠誠を示し、エルディアの罪を償うためです。公開訓練に参加させてください。
何をしているイーガ！走れ！走らんか！
Oh, this is the worst part.
この間は散々だったな。
笑い事じゃないよ。あれからずっと雑用係をやらされて、もう僕はおしまいだ。
そんなに戦士になりたいようには見えなかったかな。
Actually, yes.
ならなきゃいけないんだ。なのに、全然ダメだった。
無理もない。君は戦士なんて馬鹿らしかったんだ。マーレのために寿命を縮め、他国を侵略するなんて、馬鹿らしくてやってられないよね。
It should be stupid for everyone, actually.
サバーさんはなんで戦士に？
巨人の謎を知りたかったからさ。私は研究者だからね。すべては、始祖ユミルが何かと接触したことから始まるらしいが、私はその時に起きたことを知りたいのさ。寿命を縮めてでも、巨人の記憶を探ろうと思うことにね。そんなことだから、戦争じゃからっきしの役立たずだ。だが、巨人の神秘の前に、憎しみや争いもくだらないよ。だから、この戦争ごっこに付き合ってられない私たちは似た者同士で、この世界じゃ珍しい、まともな者同士なのさ。
Sorry, I'm writing some stuff if I don't remember things.
ずっと収容区から出られなくたって、生きてさえいれば。
ついに尻尾を掴んだぞ。エルディア付近派とか名乗ってやがるらしい。今回はかなりの規模だな。フクロウとかいう内通者が組織したようだ。すでにいくつか目星はついている。あとは証拠を揃えていけば、時間の問題だな。
ジーク、どうしたの？早く食べなさい。お腹がちょっと。
Man, look, Grisha's face is something crazy.
お父さん、お母さん、もう危ないことはしないで。見つかったらみんな楽園送りなんだよ。悪魔の島に送られて、みんな巨人に。
お前は今まで父さんから何を学んだんだ？誰かが立ち上がら
That's
ない
scary.
みんなずっとこの狭い壁の中で惨めに死んでいくんだぞ。
そうよ。これはあなたやエルディア人みんなの未来のための戦いだって言ったでしょ？そのためなら、僕はフェイおばさんみたいになってもいいの。
I mean...
ジーク！そもそもフェイが殺されたのは、この世界が狂っているからだ！もう誰もフェイのような目に合わせないためには戦わなくてはいけない！強いエルディアをマーレから取り返し、当たり前の権利を勝ち取るんだ！
When Grisha is screaming, it's so painful. I mean, I feel sorry.
なんてことだ。親が不敬派だったなんて。このままじゃ親族全員楽
Okay,
園を。
this part, later I want to talk to you about this. Because this part is...
サワーさん、キャッチボールしてくれてありがとう。巨人になっても時々思い出すからね。
Well, it's like a Dinah. Even if I turn into Titan, I know where to find you. Just the same.
行くね。
かかってなさい。もう、これしかない。自らマーレ当局に告発することでマーレに忠誠を示せば、君とソンは助かるはずだ。
Well, why grandparents has to be saved?
できないよ。
ジーク！君は両親からひどいことをされた。
Yeah, but even his grandparents did something terrible to
気
him.
に
Huh?
かけなかった。君
Let's
を
not forget.
愛さなかった。ジーク、君は悪くない。
No, even his grandparents were bad. I don't understand why they have to be saved and the others no. That's incoherent.
もう少し手加減してくれよ、ジーク。
ああ、もう年寄りにはきついか。
ほら、まだそんな年。
草葉さん。
もうすぐ継承の任期を終える頃だ。
そうだね。
年寄りにもなれなかったが、研究に打ち込めたことに後悔はない。最後に集大成を発表できそうだ。
へえ、どんなことが分かったの？
始祖の巨人がユミルのためにもたらした様々な影響について。
ああ、記憶を操作するとかいう、あれ？
記憶どころじゃない。体の構造も変えてしまうことができるんだ。600年ほど前、世界の人口が激減するほどの疫病が猛威を振るった時代があった。しかし、ある日を境に、エルディア帝国からその病は消滅した。当時の王が、始祖の巨人の力で、ユミルの民の体の設計図を書き換えたんだよ。まさに私たちユミルの民は、どこにいようと、始祖の巨人の一部のようなものなんだ。
I still have a question mark about this. Yeah, that's scary, but how can you confirm it for sure?
また悪魔を生んだ。
始祖の巨人なら、ユミルの民が子供を産めなくすることもできるのかな。もしこれ以上、ユミルの民が生まれてこ
Later
ない
I'm
と、
going to tell you one
100年後に
big
は
thing.
この世から巨人は消滅している。もう世界は巨人の脅威に怯えたり、苦しめられたりせずに済む。何より、そもそも僕らは生まれてこなければ、苦しまなくてよかったんだ。草葉さん。
話してなかったけど、私には家族がいたんだ。若く愚かだった私は腕章を外し、エルディア人であることを隠したまま妻と暮らし子を作った。妻はマーレ人だったんだ。しかし、いつまでも騙し通せるわけもなく、私がエルディア人だと知った妻は、自分と息子の喉を裂いて死んだ。私が戦士になった理由は、贅沢な自殺の方法に飛びついたに過ぎない。だが、この13年間は、巨人の研究に没頭し、君と出会い、
this is the thing.
楽しかった。亡き息子を君に求め、巨人の力で自分の罪から逃れようとした。
Is it worth it? I mean,
私だってこの世に生まれてこなければ。
獣の巨人は、俺が継承する。マーレのためじゃない。始祖奪還計画を成功させ、世界を救ってみせるよ。世界の人々を巨人の恐怖から解き放ち、エルディア人を苦しみから解放するんだ。
yeah, but are you sure? This is the point.
これはマーレに伝えていない情報なんだ。不戦のちぎりを打ち破る方法だ。図らずともジーク、それは君だからこそ可能になる。
This music is great. It reminds me of the Lord of the Rings. You know what I mean?
その能力を引き出すことができるはず。
Listen to this music.
しかし、力を伝えるのは君じゃない。
That's so
決定
beautiful.
権は始祖の保有者に委ねられる。いわば、君の役割は鍵だ。誰か信頼できる者に始祖を託すんだ。私たちの安楽死計画を理解してくれる誰かに。君ならきっと見つけられる。
But maybe this was already planned. Okay, later I'm going to tell you. I already
私
told
はい
you
つでも
on
見守っ
Tuesday,
ている
but
からな。ジーク。
見つけてみせるよ、父さん。エレン・イエーガ。
エレンは始祖の巨人の保有者です。そして、エレンの生まれ育ったシガンシナ区の家の地下室には、何か重大な情報があるとのことでした。
そのエレンから父親の話を何か聞いたか？
確か、今は行方不明で医者をやってたと聞きました。
なんてことだ。あの父親は生きていた。エレン、俺たちは被害者だ。
Mm.
お前はあの父親に洗脳されている。
Yeah, this is true.
必ず
This
救い
is
出してやるからな。
But, hmm.
少し父親と似てきたようだ。
Yeah, for sure.
まず
He's
は
like
エ
a
レン、
Grisha for sure.
俺の話に応じてここまで来てくれてありがとう。俺の考えはイエレナから聞いた通り、エルディア人安楽死計画に賛同してくれるのか。
I don't think he agrees totally.
あることをきっかけに親父の記憶が開いた。親父が壁の王家一家を皆殺しにした時の記憶だ。
So what was the point of
ま
the
だ小さ
Liberio
な子供
attack?
たちを虫みたいに潰して回った。感触も残っている。その子たちが生きていれば、始祖の巨人は王家の手に渡り、
Yeah.
不戦のちぎりに縛られたまま、俺たち壁内人類は心中を迫られただろう。子供たちの死が俺たちを生かした。そうか。父親は正しかった。そう思ったのか。いいや、親父は間違っている。そして、その親父に育てられた俺も間違いだった。エルディア人が生まれてこなければ、この町の住民も、これから俺たちの計画に巻き込まれて死ぬことはなかった。この世に生まれないこと、これ以上の救済はない。俺はやる。
Yeah, but we should thank Grisha right now for some other reasons. Later, I'm going to tell you.
その日を迎えるまで進み続ける。そうだろう、兄さん。
Oh, goodness.
その通りだ。やろう。固い握手でも交わしたいところだが。
What a mess.
今俺たちが接触するのはまずいよな。代わりにこれを受け取ってくれ。エレン、必ずみんなを救ってあげよう。
Look, I don't know what to think.
唯一の救い。エルディアの安楽死。
なんつった。安楽死。お前はこれから臭い巨人の口の中で自分の体が咀嚼される音を聞きながら死ぬわけだが、お前にしちゃ随分と安らかな死に方だろう。奪った仲間たちの命に比べてみれば。
Mama Levi, please. Please.
救ってやったんだ。
Please.
そいつらから生まれ
Don't
てくる命。
die on me, please.
残酷な世界から。
また足が伸びてきたみてえだな。
クソ坊さん、見せてくれよ。
Poor horse, let's say. Poor horse. Oh. Okay. I watched the 2 episodes in a row one more time. Look, first of all, yeah, I was writing down some things because some things I forgot to write them down. But okay, let me start with the subjects involved in this episode. Yeah, poor horse, right? Later, I'm going to read all of your comments. Please don't put spoilers as always. But okay, let me go on. First of all, look, I have so many subjects here in these 2 episodes, but no, I will focus mainly on episode 15 because the subjects involved in episode 14, I already analyzed them in the previous rewatch. No, there was not a rewatch, but there were just the subjects last week, so go and check it out. Anyway, regarding episode 15, one of the main subject is definitely to go beyond the surface. I want to say this because if you remember, before Zeke attacked Levi by transforming his comrades into titans, Zeke was saying, "Look, Levi, you pretend to know my feelings, even if you're not doing it well because maybe you were not popular with girls." I mean, do you remember when he was using irony in that moment? But he was true because in episode 15 we understand what Zeke felt throughout his life, and so this is a connection definitely with the previous episode. But yeah, there's a thing that people should go beyond the surface. Even if Zeke had a surface, had a shield that everyone could detect and everyone could judge through the previous seasons too. With episode 15, we go beyond this surface, beyond this shield he put in front of others, and we understand all the reasons why he's doing what he's doing, and we understand the plan, but also how he reached this plan. And this is really amazing because this is the perfect subject we should use even in real life, because many people are judged just because of the appearance and just because of what they say, but few people can go beyond this surface and try to understand how and why this person is acting or is behaving because of many things that can have happened before. huh? So yeah, definitely. I think this is one of the main subjects in this episode for sure, and and this can be connected even with the fact that there are lies and truths involved in this story, and you should understand who's lying, who's telling you the truth, because as we were saying on Tuesday, there is not an absolute truth. And I really agree with what Kruga said. I still agree with this. There is not an absolute truth here, too. I mean, until we reach the moment in which probably the story will be explained as an omniscient narration, we don't know. We just have different sides, but we don't understand who is right and who is wrong until the end. Um, so we should go and we should go on and discover what's happening, because we have so many points of view. This story doesn't have a main narration or a main way to see this story, but we have different opinions and people fighting for those ideals they have. So until we have an omniscient narrator, we will never be able to understand if someone is right or someone is wrong. But we just can put ourselves in different positions. Yeah, this is what we can do for sure. But then, if we have to judge, okay, who's right, who's wrong, who's doing the best thing, who's doing the worst thing, until we have someone who's telling us, look, I know everything, he is right and he is wrong, we can't. Till now, we still can do this. And later, I'm going to tell you why I believe so. Another subject in this episode is the figure of the father. Um, if you are a great fan of narration, I mean, of novels, literature, and whatsoever, you know that the figure of the father is well analyzed through many other novelists and many other um, people who were writing even poetry and stuff like that, because the figure of the father is really important, especially in the previous centuries where the father was the main figure of the family, rather than the woman, I mean the mama, the mother. And then the mother as a figure developed centuries after centuries. But let's say that in previous centuries the figure of the father was the main one, and it was the one who could be recognized as the root of the family. But in this episode, there is a difference between a real father and not real father. Let's call it like this, because of course Zeke's real father is Grisha, but as I explained you on Tuesday already, there is a huge difference of the biological father and the father you decide to have next to you, because it all depends how these figure is behaving with you and what he is doing to you. If no matter if you have a biological father or not, or no matter if you are an orphan trying to find the figure of a father later, it really depends on how you feel that person as a father. Of course, in Zeke's case, he tried so many times to get in touch with Grisha in a different way, but he couldn't reach him. And that made him understand that that's not my father, because he really doesn't care about me and he really can't get in touch with me as much as I want. So let me find the figure of the father in someone else. And of course, he found it in Xava, but later I'm going to tell you, yes, Xava was really different from Grisha, and he supported him. He spent time with him, etc., etc. But at the same time, I still believe that Zeke was partially used by Xava too. So. Was Zeke really loved in his life? I still have to understand this, because, of course, this episode makes you understand, oh, Grisha is wrong, and he was, definitely. But that doesn't make me feel as if Xava was the saint, the person who has never made mistakes ever, especially towards Zeke. And later I'm going to tell you why. But absolutely, yeah, of course, if we have to choose, or if we put ourselves in Zeke's position, absolutely, Xava could be the real father to Zeke, while Grisha will always be the biological father. But this is something else, something different. In the case of Eren, of course, Grisha is the biological father, but till season 3, he was talking about his father as if he was his father. So we have a different way of approaching. In fact, Grisha changed regarding how he approached his next son, I mean, Eren. But as I explained you on Tuesday, he still made mistakes anyway to Eren too. So I don't find great differences between Eren and Zeke. They are both victims of the system, and unfortunately, Grisha didn't understand this. Unfortunately, or as I have a theory about this, it was all planned. I mean, I already explained to you on Tuesday what I think, but later with the theories, I'm going to talk to you about this too one more time. For sure, another subject in this episode is how to use people as tools. We saw this throughout many other anime, actually. Now, as you all know, I'm following Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, and over there too, characters, I mean, kids, are used as tools. I can remember Naruto, of course, with the Jinchuriki thing, that they were used as weapons. And here, kids are used in order to become titans as tools. Or from the Grisha point of view, Zeke or Eren is used as a titan, or he wants that his son, in this case Zeke, can turn into titan, because then he can reach the founding titan, and then he can fulfill his purpose only. So both of these kids are used as tools for someone else's purpose, and in this case Grisha. But we saw even other people, I mean, other kids like Raina and all the others used in order to become Titan for other people's purposes. So this main theme is going on and on and on through generations without stopping. And this is the bad thing, I guess, for sure. But even Grisha at the beginning, he was used as a tool because his grandpa, I mean, I'm always saying grandpa, so you will understand. But let's say Grisha's father used Grisha to think that he had to believe some things instead of others, and probably Grisha's father wanted Grisha to become a Titan candidate. Who knows? But for sure, if we follow the other families of the other candidates, I mean, of the other people who could turn into Titans, probably even Grisha's father wanted the same destiny for him. So, as you can see, there is this repetition of events going on and on and on. Of course, the main theme, the main subject of this story in general is revenge. And we see it through Grisha's eyes in this episode, because we see, as much as we saw in season 3 part 2, but here we see that Grisha grew up after what happened to Faye, and we see that time, okay, that moment that was erased in season 3 part 2, because we couldn't understand what happened between the moment in which Grisha was a kid and what happened to Faye, and when Grisha reached the paradise. So of course it was necessary to understand this moment in between, because we could understand how Grisha developed this revenge after Faye's death. And let's say that Faye's death was the moment in which Grisha started thinking about what's going on in this world and how I have to rebel against this. And I repeat you this, if I put myself in Grisha's position from this point of view, from this thing, I can understand him. Because it's the same thing I said when Eren saw Carla dying in front of his eyes. Of course, in that moment too, it's quite understandable when Eren wanted revenge for that moment in particular, because come on, if I put myself in Eren's position too, I will never be able to forget that, or I will never be able to forgive the Titans who made this, or what's behind this concept of Titans that was able to create this problem. But what Grisha was doing that was wrong was to push his kids to do this instead of him. I mean, if I want revenge, instead of asking others to do this thing for me, if I were in Grisha's point of view or in Grisha's position, I would have searched for my personal revenge. I would have never asked my kids to do this instead of me. Of course, he is asking Zeke because he has the royal blood, so it's a plus that he doesn't have. And that's why maybe there's a good way to handle things in a different way. And of course, he's relying to Eren too, because his time limit is finished, and also because he already gained the founding Titan. So Eren has different options, different ways to go on with this revenge. But for sure, Grisha made this mistake. He used other people instead of fulfilling his revenge by himself. And by involving his kids and by doing what he did through the brainwashing method he used, that was really bad. And that was the worst thing Grisha could have done, in my opinion. But on the other side, I totally understand Grisha when he lost his sister like that, when he lost his rights and all the human beings' rights just because he wanted to follow a Zeppelin. That was something ridiculous, something unbelievable. Okay, even in nowadays, even in real life, if this happens, we all say this is ridiculous. This shouldn't have happened for sure. And of course, being in the internment zone forever, being confined all the times, I can understand Grisha from this point of view. But as I told you, what he did later was totally wrong. Then there is another subject that we saw throughout this whole season 4, and is this discrimination, this racism that is going on through all the episodes, thanks to Gabi, for example, but even thanks to the people who are discriminating the aliens living in Paradise, or as we saw in previous episodes, even aliens living in paradise are trying to discriminate the aliens living in Marley or people coming from Marley. So there is this, racism in general and discrimination in general. But basically, we can say that this story is going on just because paradise people are considered demons. But for sure, we saw in this episode 15, moments of racism when there was that old man. And look, I mean, that old man was the starting point of Zeke's plan. Can you believe this? I mean, this story has moments in which you say, oh, if that thing didn't happen, probably things would have been different, right? And one of these moments is this. I mean, if that old man didn't say that sentence in front of Grisha and his family, if he didn't say, why do you keep having kids if you know that you're demons? If he didn't say that sentence, probably Zeke wouldn't even thought about this and he wouldn't even started his plan, right? So all these non-important characters that are starting something really essential or really important to the story. This is really awesome because usually you expect great things from first characters only, but this is not happening in Shingeki no Kyojin. As much as we saw how important Sasha was for Kaya and for the next generation, so or Sasha's father later when he explained his idea, and that was really beautiful. Those second or non-important characters at all, they can create matters to the story and they can create a logical connection to the story. This is really beautiful. This is something unexpected because in other anime, it's so rare to see some things like this. I really think so. Um, but anyway, yeah, this racism and all these things. Oh yeah, absolutely. This is another clear example with this episode of how this concept of discrimination is still strong and it's really hard to erase it. Um, Another subject for sure is bonds, because in this episode we see different types of bonds. I can say that the bond between Zeke and Xava is connected not because it's blood related, and this is really important, as much as Eren doesn't have a direct and blood related bond with Mikasa or Armin, for example, but this makes you understand that or, even in this story we have bonds. And those bonds are really difficult to be erased or to be cancelled or whatever, because the bond is the thing that makes you go on, that really wants you to go on with your purpose. Let's talk about Eren. He's going against the Mikasa and Armin, and we all understand that that's wrong. I mean, that's fake. Okay, he really cares about them, but the will to protect them makes this bond go on, even if it seems that Eren is against them. So the bond is more important than anything else. And of course, the Zeke and the Xama bond is more important than anything. In fact, he's searching for the glasses, he's searching for his presence, because at the end of episode 15, he's saying, look, are you looking at me now, Xava? So this bond that will never be able to be interrupted. This is really important, and usually in shonen anime we see these so many times, I guess. Another important subject. Look, I'm going a little bit fast because I have so many things to say, but of course, I think you understand what I mean. Another subject is being special. Because in my opinion, in this episode, plus the end of episode 14, we still have things, I mean, we still have details regarding this particular subject, being special to someone. It can be seen through Savi's points of view or Savi's eyes. And I already explained you everything on Tuesday, so go and check it out. The fact that Savis really wanted to be special in that society or in that world building, okay? And after he received, yeah, even when Grisha said to Savis, "You are not like my son." Do you remember? Yeah, even in that moment, Grisha repeated the same thing because he was talking about Eren, but it was the same sentence he said to Zeke in the previous family he had when he said, "Of course you can do it because you are our son," as if he was so proud of his kids. But then we understand why he said sentences like this. But yeah, Savis really wanted it to be special too. But then Carla explained to him that there was no need to be special. And in fact, Zeke, who really, as much as Savis, really wanted it to be special, but not to be appreciated by others, but he really wanted to be appreciated by his family, and that was it. I mean, he didn't need it to be appreciated by all the people, and that's why he really didn't want to become a warrior. But if that was the case, in order to be appreciated, okay, let's become a warrior. So, as you can see, the thing to be special to someone, and this is really remarked in this episode too. He wanted to be special to Grisha, that was his biological father. He was appreciated by Xava, that means he finally could reach a person, and that person showed him that he could have been special to someone else, because when Xava said, "Please um, report your parents," from Zeke's point of view, finally someone was caring about him, and he was afraid about losing him. So being special to someone, this is really important in this episode, really, really important. But then when Xava said, "Look, you are able to release this power together with the founding Titan, but at the same time, you will not be the owner of this power. You will just be the key." But even being the key is really important, makes you feel really special, don't you think? When you hear, "Oh, you're the key of something," or "Ah, you were the key for me to discover things," it makes Zeke feel special. That means that without me, nobody else can release this power, no matter if I'm going to own it. And that's not the case, because Eren will own the power. But Zeke, by being the key, by hearing that he's the key, that makes him feeling special. So as you can see, through many different ways in this episode, you see how to be special is a great subject here. But not just here. Throughout the story, look at the title of this story is Shingeki no Kyojin. So even Eren is special. And what Carla said at that time to Savis, look, my kid doesn't need to be special or to have a special talent. He is already special just because he was born in this world. So to be special, yeah. Of course, there is this brainwash subject too. We saw it throughout this entire episode, etc., etc. So we see these subjects repeating throughout the episodes. And another one is this cycling of pain, cycling of revenge, cycling of being a victim of this system, cycling of events repeated over and over and over again. Look, it can be Grisha, for example, when he was a kid, then he turned into the adult, and the adult is making the same mistakes of the previous adults. That means his father that is doing the same thing, or he's using the same behavior towards his kids. These look, it's repeating over and over again, okay? Like the scene of the training too, when Zeke wants to try to be as best as he can, and he's training a lot. That scene, we saw it even with Raina. That was another sort of a generation, because Zeke is older than Reiner. Then we saw it with Gabi, Falco, and all the others. So this scene is repeating over and over again through generations. We saw Grisha's reaction when Zeke tried to stop him. That is the same reaction his father, I mean Grisha's father, had when Grisha tried to complain about the face death and stuff like that. So we see these things over and over again trying to be repeated. So the message of the author, I think, is that it's wrong to repeat things over and over again. There has to be something that can stop this cycling of things and try to create something better, something that is different than usual. Otherwise, this repetition is quite boring, okay? So something has to change. But let's say that this cycling of things is involving all characters. I mean, there is not someone more important or someone less important. Absolutely no. This is involving the entire characters of the story. And of course, that's true. Yeah, I already talked to you about this theme of the key. As I told you on Tuesday, the key can be a human being like Zeke, because Zeke is the key to release this power, or it can be a tool, it can be an item. In fact, we saw the key even in season 1 when Grisha is showing the key. Look, if we think about it, and I already explained you this on Tuesday, this is something crazy because try to understand this. Grisha used a key to reach the basement, and in the basement, Eren found the picture of a Zeke. But Zeke, at the same time, he is the key to releasing the power of the rumbling. Was this all projected in advance? I'm telling you this because Kruger said that if you wanted to save Mikasa, Armin, and all the others, of course, this sentence is said by someone else in the future, but Kruger said this and convinced Grisha to go on and make another family, create another family. And at the same time, Zeke was still in Marle, and he was cared by his grandparents, and he was growing older and probably deciding to own a titan too. And the fact that Kruger is saying make another family and go on with this story, he made Eren, of course, and Eren was about to inherit the founding titan, and then these two brothers are meeting, and finally they are the perfect match to start the rumbling. As one, the royal blood owner, and the other one, the founding titan, and both they can trust one another because of the experiences they had in their lives. Was this projected already in advance? This could be awesome to think because everything is connected thanks to this key. But at the same time, the key is not just an item to connect Eren to Zeke with the basement, and that's why I think they will meet in the basement probably. But see, this character Zeke, that is the key, but at the same time this key is connected with the thing to go and find the basement. Thanks to that key you can open the basement and you can find these books, and plus you can find this picture where Zeke is over there next to Grisha and Dinah. So everything connected by this subject of the key. This is really amazing, don't you think? It's so beautiful to think something like this, right? Of course, in those books there is Grisha's truth, but from Grisha's point of view, that's the truth of the outside world. As we said, no, it's just Grisha's truth. There is something different. Kruger said that there is not an absolute truth, and Grisha couldn't prove till the end that what he was thinking was correct. But let me tell you later, I'm going to talk to you about Xava too, and you will see that at the end of the day, Grisha and Xava, they have things in common somehow. Of course, in my opinion, then you are able to think what you want. Another subject is not to forget the things. why I chose this subject is because throughout this story, we have heard so many times I will never be able to forget that, or the characters themselves they were referring to previous things by let you understand that they will never be able to forget things. And for sure Zeke is not forgetting what happened in his past, and that's why thanks to that he could create a way to create his plan as a consequence. So for sure our actions are based on past events or past consequences or past experiences that are making us behaving in a certain way. Look, just Carla and Eren, okay? That makes you understand that throughout all these seasons, Eren was trying to fight because he lost Carla, he lost Hannes, he lost all his comrades, he lost Marco, he lost Marlo, he lost Erwin. I mean, he lost all his friends. And by not forgetting this, he was going on until he was talking to Zeke and he discovered another side of the world and another plan that Zeke was holding and he was going on. So as you can see, this thing of I will never forget things. Yeah, it depends. All characters have this principle in their minds. There is not one, there is not even one character, I think, that is not thinking. Look, even Levi, he has never forget what happened in the past, and that's why he is going, he's moving forward and he is going on. Okay. Um, okay. Then there is another great subject, in my opinion, that is extermination versus salvation, because we saw that in Zeke's point of view, if they are about to, if there is an extinction, okay, of aliens, there is not a chance that these will repeat over and over again, because once we erase the problem, then there is nothing else to complain about. I mean, the world will behave in a different way, and people like aliens will not suffer anymore for what happened, will not be the cause of pain, they will not feel pain, and they will not be discriminated, they will not, okay, there are so many reasons I already told you on Tuesday. But can this bring everyone to salvation? I mean, does this is this the only way, or is this the perfect way to save others? I'm saying this because, on the contrary, there can be the regret thing. I mean, if you decided to create this extinction of aliens, then probably you will regret this, because Xava, for example, said it. Yeah, I agree with what you say, Ziku, or I understand what you say, but then the fact that I could have met you, this was, I mean, this was something good to me. I was happy about this. And if you were not born, probably that wouldn't even have the chance for me to meet you. So, this is a huge question mark. Is this correct? Is this something that is good to do? For some reasons, yes, if we understand the Zeke's point of view. For some other reasons, if you don't let other people be born, or if you don't let other people survive, could you regret this? Okay, of course not, because in the case of Eren, later he is going to die, so he doesn't care anymore, because he will be free. I mean, he will be free of faults, he will be free of thinking. He will be free of regrets, he will be free of war, he will be free of pain, he will be free, finally. But after what the Xava said, it makes me think, maybe if Zeke or Eren could have lived even after what they want to do, probably they regret this. Don't you think? And of course, another subject is actions versus consequences, because, or actions that can let you have consequences as a consequence. Sorry that I say this, but yeah, of course, if you do something, there will be a consequence, or there will be something coming after. For sure, Grisha behaved wrongly with Zeke, and as a consequence, Zeke decided to do what he did. Or Grisha decided to go outside the walls that day, and of course, as a consequence, Faye died. Or he started a huge story as a consequence. No? As if he is the main villain. Because no, I'm joking, man. Grisha right now, he seems the real villain because let's say honestly, if Grisha didn't go outside the walls, nothing of this was happening. So, wow. If we see Grisha as the starting point of all this pain, of all these things that are happening in Shingeki no Kyojin, right? But even before Grisha, there were other bad people. That means his father, for example. That means um, all the people who were brainwashing the previous generations. That we should go to the main source, okay? So Grisha didn't start anything. If we think something like this, maybe the source started everything, and we still have to understand what that source is. And wow, everything starting from there, actually, not just from Grisha. But if we check Eren's life and what Eren did throughout these seasons, of course, the starting point in his case is Grisha. Yes. Oh, and then another great subject is the truth. Because, as I was saying, Kruger said there is not an absolute truth. That's correct. I mean, I agree with this because all these people have different opinions. Grisha has an opinion, but he couldn't confirm this because of what I told you already on Tuesday. But Xaba, okay, let me open this bracket. Xaba is a researcher. Xaba made experiments, or he detected something that was really important, and then he was transferring this knowledge to Zeke. We saw this. But I wonder, how does he know? I mean, how can he confirm that what he says is completely true? Because they didn't start the rumbling yet. So I am referring to what Hanji said when she said, look, we didn't even start anything, so how do we know if this is working or not? So what I'm saying is Zeke is following what Xava is saying, yeah, based on his researches, but where do these researches come from? How could Xava confirm this for sure, 100%, that everything that he's saying is correct? He could detect this from the previous owners, I mean, the previous Beast Titans owners, and their memories. Yes, this could be an option. But if nobody could have started the rumbling since the beginning, how can they know that all this thing is correct, that if Zeke is in contact with Eren, they can start the rumbling for sure, that he is the key and he can't own the power just because he's not the founding titan. Yes, there are so many info. Or when he said Yumiru or Ymir or whatever, she got in touch, this entity, she, because the entity is a female in my opinion, but she got in touch with something. Okay, what is this something? It can be like the portrait that she got in something. She got in touch with this demon creature, and this creature gave her the power. But what is this something? And the fact that Xava says that the aliens are all parts of the Ymir or Ymir's body, rather that thing of the memories. Okay, he could search this, and he understood this thanks to that pandemic of 600 years before, etc., etc. But 600 years before, Xava was not there to confirm this. So if we are based, I mean, if these researches are based on what the books are saying, or because the words were spread generations after generations, that's not a proof. Because even Grisha, when he said, look, I couldn't detect the rest of the book, but that's obvious, that's the truth. So how can Xava confirm this? And how can Zika be so sure that the rambling is going to work, that everything that Xava said was correct? That makes me think, or that makes me guess, that even Zika was so admiring Xava that now he's believing, or he was believing everything he said just because he was a scientist, he was a researcher. Yeah, but until you started the rambling, you can't be sure that what the Xava says was correct. Yeah, they want to start. Zeke wants to start experimenting this with Eren, but how can you be sure that everything that the Xava said was correct? He was just handling researches, but those researches, they need a confirmation. So these are truth, okay? Even when Eren says, I talked to Zeke and that Zeke knows more than Marlians do. Yeah, but he knows more just because he was talking to Xava, and Xava referred, he said to Zeke some things, but that doesn't mean that this is the only truth, or this is the truth. It was just Xava's truth, as much as Grisha had Grisha's truth when he wrote everything down on his books. There is not an absolute truth here. Not yet, at least, until we have, as I told you, an omniscient narrator who's telling us the story as it is. And after that, we can guess who's right, who's wrong, what's the truth, what's a lie, and stuff like that. But until we prove them 100%, how can Zeke be so sure of what he's doing? He can't be, right? As much as Grisha couldn't be when he was so sure about things. Nobody could prove them 100% until they tried, right? So that's what I'm saying. Okay, Xava was really good because he was the figure of the father for Zeke and stuff like that, but he also uh, gave Zeke instructions that they couldn't have been confirmed 100%, in my opinion. So, even the fact that I was telling you, was Xava somehow using Zeke too? I have this feeling because, as I was telling you on Tuesday, Xava was following his selfishness somehow when he was about to save Zeke, and he said, "Report your parents," because he found in Zeke another son, and maybe because he already chose him as the new, or the new owner of the Beast Titan. He was talking to Magato, and he already knew that that was Yeager. So when he met him with the catch ball thing, he was asking his name, but he already knew that he was Yeager. So, and so by saying this, I'm thinking, was he already seen him as the new owner of the Beast Titan, and he got in touch with him because thanks to him, Xava could go on, thanks to, I mean, by being inside Zeke's mind, he could see what Zeke was doing, maybe, thanks to the connection between present, past, and whatever. So was he using Zeke for his own purpose too? Because his purpose was to understand the mysteries of Titans. So maybe even Xava used Zeke as well, in a different way, maybe by being more cautious and by caring about Zeke more, but who knows? Just because he says, look, I really care about you, Zeke, and I will always look at you. Yeah, that's really nice to say. But was Xava selfish too when he asked Zeke, or when he imposed Zeke to report to his parents? Do you understand what I mean? Maybe I'm confusing you, but mm, I don't see Xava as a saint in this situation. No, not at all. No. Um, oh, and then another theme, of course, is the slavery. I mean, being slave of something. Look, Eren, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you think that Zeke is a slave of something? So that means you hate Zeke too, right? I mean, uh, based on what you said in episode 14, dear Eren, you don't like people who follow orders, but Zeke followed orders throughout his life. And especially when he followed Xava's order, when he said it was not an order, but at the end of the day, he took it as an order because when Xava said, report your parents and save the others, he did it. So, do you hate Zeke too? Do you hate your brothers too? Hmm. I think so. And that's why I don't think that Eren agrees totally with Zeke's plan. Mm, mm, I don't think so. Or maybe he is going to use Zeke for his own purpose, but he is not believing what Zeke is telling him 100%. Or he doesn't want to be influenced by what he says. I don't know, because I still don't believe Eren is corrupted by Zeke. No, 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 no. No, I can't believe this. But if he says that he hates people who are slave of something, he is hating Zeke too, for sure. Otherwise, it's incoherent. Then there is another theme to be innocent. I mean, Grisha was innocent at the beginning of this story. He was just a boy, and suddenly he decided, uh, moved by his instinct to go outside the walls to reach that zeppelin, and he was really innocent. But later, he turned into the culprit because he used his kids. So there is this huge contrast. You can be innocent at the beginning, but then events are turning you into a culprit because you are doing bad things too. Even if you experience the bad things at the beginning, you are turned into something like this as a consequence. And Grisha didn't even notice this, or even if he noticed, that he kept doing this, and that's even worse. Um, then another subject that I found in this episode is the psychological violence or abuse. Well, when Zeke is hearing Grisha screaming while he's inside the house and he's crying, wow, that's a sort of abuse, and it's like a torture, okay, a psychological torture to hear your parents screaming at you, or to be portrayed as a failure all the time. So it's sort of a psychological abuse. Every time you're bad, you're a failure, you're inferior, you're wrong, you're not doing the proper thing, and then you hear your parents screaming at you. You are hearing from your parents that you are a failure. Okay, many times Grisha was confirming this, and then he was trying to apologize, but no way. Or when your parents are looking bad at you in that sort of a way Grisha did, that's sort of a violence, a psychological torture. Okay, and wow, this was really well portrayed. I really agree with what Mappa did with this episode, because definitely you could feel Zeke's pain. Yeah, you really could feel how Zeke felt in that moment. So yeah, absolutely. I found one thing that is a little bit strange to say, because it has a different approach. But I think Zeke and Erwin, they had a point in common, because both of them, they want to get in touch with the mysteries of Titans, and that's why, I mean, Zeke was even really interested with what Xava had to say. and he really wants to discover, even Zico, I think that he really wants to discover what's behind Yumiro or Ymir, whatever, and all this story. But even Erwin wanted to go outside the walls, and he wanted to discover more about the world as it was. So even if the approach is totally different, we saw this, but I can found there's a point in common between the two, even if it's something surprising, because usually Erwin and Zeke, they were rivals. I mean, they were one against the other one. But yeah, sometimes in this story you can find the points in common with the different characters, even if they are totally different. But you can really find the things in common, and that's hilarious because you have never imagined that, for example, Zeke can have something in common with Erwin, and Zeke can have something in common with Eren. You have never thought about it in season 2 when you were watching season 2 or season 3, right? But now we are discovering things like this, and this is so amazing. Yeah. Um, Another great theme, of course, is life versus death, because we saw that Zeke has his own plan. But once you decide to do a plan, to create, to start a plan like this, you are responsible for all this. I mean, even when I told you on Tuesday about being almighty, that is what Zeke wants to become, because he wants to decide for the lives of everyone, especially for the lives of coming in as a new generation. Okay, he is playing the almighty right now. I don't know if Eren agrees with this, and that's why I don't understand still if he agrees with what Zeke is doing. But definitely, now Zeke is embodying the concept of being almighty as much as Yelena is worshipping him as a god. But is it right that a human being can have the right to decide who's going to live and who's going to die? This is another great subject. We saw it in many other anime already, but this is really interesting to understand. Is it correct? Why you can decide for other people's lives? Who are you to decide this? Yeah, no matter what you experienced, but does this justify the fact that you murdered lots of people? Does this justify the fact that you want now to kill or to create this extinction of people? Or are you in the proper position to decide how to change the natural cycle of things? Because right now Zika feels that he's in the position to create to create an extinction of a population like this, as if he wants to go against the nature of things, because he thinks that he can and he has to do this. Yeah, for other purposes, of course, because he doesn't want that other people suffer like he did, etc., etc. But is he in the proper position to do something like this? This is another interesting thing, another interesting question mark. Another thing that is connecting the entire story, but for sure in this episode too, is the cruel world. We have talked about this so many times, but we see, especially in this episode, how cruel the world is, and the connection between the cruelty of this world with the loss of love, the loss of affection. Because thanks to this episode, we understand that the world is cruel because parents forget to take care of their kids. Parents forget to love their kids because they are too focused on something else. They are focused on reaching their goals, and they forget to love. They forget to use those specific gestures that are full of affection. There is the loss of love. And when you have the loss of love, loss of affection, loss of careness and stuff like that, there is this connection with how cruel this world is. Um, and this is so evident. I mean, in this episode, wow, you can say, wow, the world is cruel. But if we follow what Mikasa said, is the world is cruel, but the world has something beautiful too. And in fact, Mikasa is really hanging herself to this love she has that can let her see the world in a different way. Otherwise, she's also seeing the world as cruel for everything that happened until now. But the fact that she's loving Eren and she's taking care of Eren, this is her beautiful side of the world. Do you understand what I mean? But in episode 15, we realize that, that there is the lack of love, the lack of affection, the lack of relationships, and the lack of the quality of the relationships that makes everything turning into a cruel world. Throughout the season 4, we saw so many times episodes or examples of how the world is really, really cruel. So now we have to search for the beautiful side of the world. If we can find the beautiful side of the world, in my opinion, we can solve these things and we can balance, because there will always be an opposite, okay, in life. The rule of nature says that there is good and bad, that there can't be good only, okay. This good has to be contrasted by bad, because the rule of nature says that there are opposites for sure. You can't live you can live without death, you can be good without being bad. Even in philosophy, if you follow philosophy, you can really find these big contrasts, these big opposites that are ruling the world. So the world can't be cruel only. There has to be something good as a contrast. Do you understand? That's why I really understand Mikasa's sentence, and I really believe so. The world is not cruel only. There is also a good part of the world, but the good part of the world is good feelings, for example, love, affection, and anything else. But if this is missing, there is the risk that everything turns bad, and this is impossible. We have to create a balance, okay? And in fact, later, when Zeke felt as if the world was really cruel because of the lack of love and lack of affection he got, then he met Xava, and that created a balance somehow. You understand? As much as then, when he lost Xava, he could meet Eren, and we create another balance, because now, when that tear fell down, that makes you understand that there was this balance regained once again, because Zeke really, I think he really cares about Eren, because he knows that they are sharing the same destiny, and they were forced to join this destiny because they were not, they didn't really want to be there. But the previous actions, or the previous things that had happened before, made them be part of this unfortunate destiny. On another side, on another hand, you see that Zeke is really happy to be part of this salvation plan, because if he can save others from pain, he feels as if he is the savior. But come on, even Grisha said, you will save this world, or you will be our savior, la la la. Okay, but anyway, I hope you understood when I was talking to you about this cruel world versus the loss that caused the loss of love and loss of affection and stuff like that, and this balance between opposites. then there is another subject, of course, that is all the generations trying to condition. I mean, trying to force the new generations to think things that are not good most of the time. And we saw this with Grisha, that is trying to force, sorry, Zeke to think things that are totally wrong. We saw this with Karina, for example, but we have a good example. The good example is Sasha's father. So that's why I'm saying, is it correct to end all these people's lives? Because Sasha's father is an exception. Sasha's father lets you understand that all the generations are not all the same, and there could be the chance that everything can change if we talk more, as Armin said. But on the contrary, I can understand Zeke's point of view, because it's so difficult. Just because Sasha's father is one father that can think like that, that doesn't mean that all fathers, all alien fathers, especially the fathers living in Marle, as aliens, they can think things like him. It's really hard. Sasha's father was an exception, of course. But as you can see, not all the generations are the same. There are even exceptions, and those exceptions, they can be really, really great sometimes. Because they can be an inspiration for new generations, and things can change through or thanks to these new generations. Another subject is perspectives, because as I told you, and this is connecting with the truths, everyone can have a different opinions. Everyone can see reality based on their own experiences. So who's in the right position to say things? Who's in the wrong position to say things? Everyone has his or her own perspective. So the only thing we can do in this story now, of course, is to put ourselves in the characters' positions and try to feel what they feel, try to feel empathy for them. If we can do this, we can see the story many different ways. And that's a problem, because you can't take a side. And then, as I was telling you, how to spread words. We saw throughout this story that people are spreading words, people are spreading things, and other people are about to believe those things. And this is connected with what I was telling you about Xava, that was spreading his researches to Zeke, but until we try, we will never be able to confirm if what Xava says was good or was right or was wrong. As much as what Grisha was trying to do, based on his own truth, we couldn't confirm what Grisha was saying, if that was good and that was wrong, until we see the evidence. So all the generations were spreading things through new generations, and this world building creating in this story makes you understand that thanks to words that are spread through generations, people can create their own expectations, their own ideals, their own beliefs. But until we confirm them, we will never be able to say they were right, they were wrong. So this is a huge question mark. Even Eren's grandpa, I mean Zeke's grandpa, he was spreading things to Zeke, he was spreading things to Grisha, and who can confirm? I mean, when he was talking about Lago, for example, come on, were you there to confirm this? No, as much as when Grisha is saying Lago, a thing didn't happen. Were you there to confirm this? No, because it's based on their beliefs. It's not based on a confirmation. Because maybe they had different books that they were saying two different things. Or they were just checking the books and they were starting creating their own version of the story, but that doesn't mean that that's the only one, as much as the books we found in the basement. That's Grisha's experience. That's Grisha's truth. And that can't be considered as the main truth. Do you understand? I still believe what Kruger said was right. Sorry to say, but I still believe so. Until we will have the narrator that is saying, look, actually, people were thinking this and this, but as a real story, this happened. Okay, until we will find that moment, or until we will reach that moment, we will never be able to say Grisha was correct, Zeke was wrong, Zeke was correct, Grisha was wrong, Eren was correct, Zeke was wrong. I mean, do you understand what I mean? We still need, I don't know if we will be able to have a real truth in this story. That's really hard, because the more we go on, the more we are hearing different beliefs, different perspectives, different thoughts based on past experiences. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, I said everything about the subjects involved in this story, in my opinion. Let's go on with the theories. Okay, what's going to happen in the next episode? Because next week I'm going to talk to you about what's coming next. I mean, after part 1. First of all, does Eren agree with all this? I don't think so. I mean, I don't think Eren... let's start the thinking. Does Eren agree with the Zeke's plan entirely? I don't think so. But because look, if I believe that Eren cares about Mikasa and Armin, how is it possible? I mean, I don't believe that Eren agrees with the Zeke's plan entirely, because I really think Eren wants Mikasa and Armin to survive. So if they survive, they have to handle even a new generations or something that is happening after, right? So how is it possible that Eren agrees 100% with the Zeke's plan? That's what I don't agree. And that's what, look, does that mean that they have to kill Historia's baby too? Or does that mean that they have to kill Historia too? Because if they wanted to erase these new generations coming, Historia is pregnant. So it doesn't make sense, because I really think that Eren wanted to protect Historia, right? And if Historia is pregnant, that means that Eren is not agreeing with what Zeke wants to do entirely. Do you understand what I mean? So I don't know. Is Historia really pregnant? Look, I'm starting thinking something like this, because maybe Eren asked Historia to fake to be pregnant, and then Historia asked this farmer to fake to be the father of a child, and that was the only way that Eren could protect Historia. And that's why there is not a new generation, but that's impossible. The world can't go on without a new generation, without someone surviving. So, look, I'm thinking there are two options at this point. Or Historia is not pregnant, number one, or number two, Eren is not agreeing with Zeke 100%. Come on, how can you agree with Zeke, who was a slave of something? Eren, you said that you hate people who are slave of something, so, or people who are following orders. Come on, when Zeke said to Xava, okay, father, I will find it, that means the finding Titan, he was following an order, more or less. So, does he hate Zeke too? If we are coherent, yes, he should. I don't think, okay, they will start the rumbling, okay? They will. Because for sure, there has to be the moment in which we see this rumbling, because we are always talking about the rumbling. And for this reason, It's impossible that we go on till the end of the story without a rumbling. No. Something has to start. So for sure, there will be the rumbling. Yeah. But can you imagine if later Eren is about to kill Zeke anyway? Because he is not forgetting anyway what happened. I mean, before being killed, before Eren being killed by others, he will kill Zeke too. I don't know. But even when he said to Zeke, brother, that was so fast for him to say brother like that. Don't you think? That was really fast. I will do it, brother. Okay, you can think about him as a brother because you have the same father in common or because you have experienced many things in common, but to entitle Zeke brother like that was so fast. That's why I'm suspicious. I really think Eren doesn't agree with Zeke entirely. Come on, he doesn't hate Mikasa, he doesn't hate Armin, and this is why it's incoherent. If you look, if you say on the railway scene, okay, this was before meeting Zeke, okay, but if you say, I want you to live a longer life, right? Wait. Okay, he said that in the railway scene, in the sunset scene, right? I want you to live a longer life. That's incoherent. No. Eren doesn't agree with Zeke entirely. No. Plus, if you remember, when he met Falco, when Eren met Falco, he said the same thing. He said, you're a nice boy, and I hope you to have a longer life, a long life. If Falco is about to survive, this goes against Zeke's plan. Plus, Zeke knows that Grice, when he met Falco Grice later, he said, that's the niece of that Grice. See? But it doesn't make sense to me. If you, Eren, are talking with Falco, because I think, look, guys, I think Falco is about to survive, okay? Is a sort of hope for the future. But if you say to Falco, look, you are a nice boy, and I hope you to have a long life or something like this goes against Zeke's plan. And when he said that to Falco, he already talked to Zeke. Right? You can confirm me this. He already talked to Zeke in that moment when he talked to Falco. And he wished the Falco a long life. Okay, he's not agreeing with Zeke 100%. No. No. Eren, you can't trick me. No, I'm joking, but yeah. When he was talking to Falco, guys, he already talked to Zeke, y'all. So it doesn't make sense. Okay, I have a theory. Eren already sees everything from the future. So he knows, okay, who's going to survive and who's going to die. That's why he talked to Falco like that. And that's why he's doing what he's doing with Zeke. But I don't think he has the same plan. No. Second thing, is Levi dead? No. No, look, no. You know why I think he's not dead? Is because an important character like Levi can't die in one frame. I mean, can't die like this. No. His death has to be more majestic, more effective, more important, don't you think? So that's why I don't believe Levi is dead. Even if I was afraid of that in previous theories I made, but I don't think he's dead. No, no. Come on, it's like when as if Eren is dying in one frame or in 30 seconds. Come on, no. Or it's like as if Armin is dying in 30 seconds. Even Armin in season 3 part 2, when he was about to die or he was presumably dead, that scene took lots of minutes. Come on, Levi in 30 seconds is dead like that? No, 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 no. Levi is so important in this story, so he can't die like this in 30 seconds. Even less, I think 15 seconds. No way. No. Then if he's dead, that means that in the next episode I'm about to cry. Yeah. But no. I don't want to believe this. No. Come on. Let's be honest. Let's be coherent. When Sasha died, and if we compare Sasha with Levi, okay, even if Sasha, I love her, and she was one of my favorite characters of Shingeki no Kyojin, but if we compare the two deaths, Sasha, when she died, was so important that they went on with her presence for 3 episodes in a row, okay, 3 or 4 episodes. Plus, when she died, there was this sad moment, okay? It's impossible that Levi in 15 seconds dies and, okay, bye Levi, sayonara. No, it's impossible. Do you understand what I mean? Come on. No, he's not dead. Levi, you're not dead, right? No, 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 no. 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 Then, is Zeke still alive? Okay, Zeke can regenerate himself because he's the Beast of Titan. So even if there is an explosion, no, but wait, because there was the Raizo, but the Raizo was not on the neck. I mean, the Raizo was not here, right? He was here. So do you remember when in season 3 part 2 Reiner was attacked with the Raizo, right? Boom, 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 boom. And Reiner almost died, but he did it in time. I mean, he could have regained his last power he had at the end. Now, Zeke is not dead. He has a mission. It's impossible, and we have to start the rumbling, so it's quite impossible. Plus, there is that thing moving in the forest. Did you see? I mean, at the end of the battle, Levi versus Zeke in episode 14, there is that thing moving in the forest. I still don't understand what that thing is, but it's part of Zeke's body, maybe. I don't know, but no, of course, Zeke can't die right now. No, Zeke is going till the end of the story, okay, in my opinion, because he has this mission and because the Jaegers have to stay till the end of the story. So, but also the fact that Raizo was not pointing here, but he was pointing here, makes me understand that he can regenerate himself. I'm talking about Zeke. He can regenerate himself, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then, why do I think that Eren is already seeing everything from the future? Is because of the title of the first episode. I mean, after my theory that says that Eren already saw Sasha dying from the future, the title of the first episode is To You After 2000 Years. At the end of this episode 15, Eren is saying, I'm going to finish 2000 Years of Titans. So that title of episode 1, To You After 2000 Years, is Eren. And that To You is To You, Yumiru, or To You, Ymir, after 2000 years. That means, hello, Yumiru or Ymir, I am Eren Yeager, and this is To You. After 2000 years, I'm about to destroy everything you created. This is what I believe. I mean, this is what I believe regarding the title of the first episode. That's Eren talking to Yumiru or Ymir. That makes sense, because if he is saying now, I'm about to destroy 2000 years of a Titan's domination or whatever, that first title, the first title of the first episode is referring to her, because she started everything, right? Maybe when she got in touch with that something, she started everything. So that's a message referred to Ymir or Yumiru. Yeah, I really think so. I really think so. Then another thing, another theory. Yeah, I was telling you this before. How Xava discovered those things thanks to his researches? Were there just evidence or just apparent truths, more than one? Because I don't understand. Yeah, Xava, he researched about that pandemic that happened 600 years before. But how does he know the rest? From the memories, it could be. But how does he know that they are parts of that the aliens are like parts of the body of the founding Titan, and they can be controlled, not just because of memories, but even because of their body structure? How does he know? How did he get the evidence of this? I don't understand. I really don't. Plus, okay, I have a theory. Oh, I have a theory. Yeah. Now that I think about this, if aliens, the Yumiru no Tami, okay, the population of Ymir, they are all parts of the founding Titan. Eren is transforming him. I mean, Eren and Zeke are starting the rumbling. Or Eren, he has the Shiso power. I mean, he has the founding Titan power. So maybe he's going to... Wait, I have one thing to confirm to myself before saying this. He has the founding Titan. Ah, wait a second. Maybe when they start the rumbling, Eren will transform in the founding Titan himself. I mean, he will release this power, so he will turn into Yumiru or Ymir. And the others, I mean, the Eldians, they are parts of this founding Titan. So those parts of the founding Titan are about to kill Yumiru or Ymir, because they are these extended parts of the body of this founding Titan. So maybe later, while Eren is transforming into Yumiru or Ymir, by being parts of the same body, they will be able to control themselves and kill him. That means Eren, who transformed into Yumiru or Ymir. Because thanks to the rumbling, when they release the power, maybe he can change his structure of the body too. I mean, while there is this rumbling, thanks to Zeke and this royal blood and the connection with the founding Titan itself, maybe Yumiru or Ymir can come back as her main structure. So then the aliens, they have a mission, they have to kill her. But that's incoherent because that's what Zeke doesn't want to do. I know. Anyways, no. Wait. If Zeke wants to make an extinction of Yumiru, of Yumiru no Tami, that means the population of Yumiru. So it's coherent actually, because if they kill Yumiru or Ymir, maybe. No, maybe that's Eren's plan. Zeke's plan is still that one, but Eren's plan is to bring Yumiru or Ymir back, kill her. So if we are about to kill her, that means even Eren, because Eren is the reincarnation in this moment of Yumiru and Ymir. If they kill him, they are saved. This could make sense. This could make sense, actually. Okay, one more time. Let me repeat this. I will confirm myself this too. Okay, they will start the rumbling. They will release this power. I mean, thanks to Zeke, Royal Blood, and Eren, the founding titan, when they touch, they start the rumbling, but at the same time, Eren is transforming. His body shape is changing. Is becoming the giant. Do you remember the big woman? I mean, that big deity or the goddess that appeared even in season 1, that when they are explaining that Yumiru or Ymir, she's like the Statue of Liberty. Do you remember what I mean? That there is this big woman in the legend that they say. When they start the rumbling, they are touching themselves. Eren is about to change his physical appearance. I mean, he's not turning into a woman, but he's going to become a great Yumiru or Ymir or something like that, based on the legend. And the aliens who are parts of the founding titan, as Xava said, they are about to kill Eren, and that means that they are about to kill Yumiru, or this big Yumiru that is appearing. Like, do you understand what I mean? In season 1, when season 3, part 2, when there is this explanation thanks to Grisha's story, etc., you see that big woman, like a goddess, okay? And maybe Eren is, thanks to the rumbling and releasing the power, he's transforming into this, not big woman, but do you understand what I mean? He's changing the shape of his body as a titan. He's changing this shape and he's transforming into this big woman with a male face. And the only thing they have to do, Mikasa, Armin, and all the others, by being a part of the founding titan, as Xava said, they are about to kill him, but also her. That means Yumiru and Ymir. Yumiru or Ymir. This can make sense. So he will die, of course. Eren will die. Zeke will die. And Mikasa, Armin, etc., they kill Eren. So Eren will be free forever. And Mikasa will be free forever. Because, I mean, she will be not free from the love she has for Eren, but she will be free from that bond, that unnatural bond she created by being an Ackerman with the King of Eldia. This makes sense. Okay, I made my decision. This will be my theory. Yes. So, Eren's point of view is different from Zeke, because Zeke wants to, bye-bye aliens, see you, no, not see you, bye-bye aliens. But Eren wants to kill the source. I mean, wants to exterminate the source, and the source is Yumiru Ymir. It's not aliens. It's the source. That's why I don't believe Zeke and Eren have the same opinion about this. No. Okay, this makes sense too. This makes sense, for real. Another thing I don't understand. What about Rainer? Where is he? I mean, after so many episodes, we are not focusing on Rainer. Peak. What about Peak? But we are not focusing on Rainer Galliard. Annie. Oh, I think Raina wants to save Annie too. Yeah, they're coming for Annie too. Yeah, because Annie is still there for nothing. I mean, something has to happen, or in the next episode, or in the second part, that they have to release Annie too. Otherwise, there's no meaning. She is another of the titans that they need. So, of course, they have to release Annie. But where is Rainer right now? Let me open a bracket, okay? Zeke saw Rainer because he was older than him. And Rainer felt the same things that Zeke felt when he was a baby boy, right? He was inferior, he was not good, he was not talented, he was not blah, 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 blah. But he cooperated with Rainer. Okay, even if the real mission of Zeke was something else. And that's why I thought that Rainer was on the side of Zeke, because Zeke saw that Rainer's childhood was more or less the same as his. And he got in touch with Rainer. In fact, they were always together. I don't know, but where is Rainer right now? Where are Rainer and all the others? Especially Peak, because I have still to understand what's Peak thinking, and what does she think about this, and what's her sign, where is she right now? I don't understand. We saw her just at the end of the episode before the restaurant episode, but we don't understand where she is right now, and we don't understand if she's on Zeke's side or Marley's side. I don't know. If we follow the trailer, after the Levi and the forest, there is a girl that is, in my opinion, that's quite obvious. That's Yumiru or Ymir, the real one, no, not the one of season 2, the Historia's friend. Does that mean that in the next episode we see that? Because that's the last part of the trailer that we still didn't see. But look, what I told you guys makes sense, especially now that I'm thinking about the trailer. Yumiru or Ymir, she's coming. Because in the trailer, after the scene of the forest, we see that girl, we see all the people pointing at her. So we are going to see Yumiru or Ymir's story, background story too. That would be really interesting. But it makes sense with the theory I told you a few minutes ago. It makes sense. Eren wants to meet Yumiru, or Eren wants to become Yumiru or Ymir, and then being killed. He doesn't want to kill Eldians, in my opinion, as a population. He wants to kill Yumiru or Ymir, maybe. Yeah. That's why he wants to release the rumbling, so he can transform himself as the goddess that we saw in the legend with that picture. Do you understand what I mean? Yes, I think so. And he wants that other people are going to, especially Ackerman, they are going to kill this big goddess that is appearing in the sky, not in the sky, but when they transform. I mean, when the rumbling will start, they will not just releasing the power of the rumbling, they will release the power and the real form of Yumiru or Ymir will appear. Thanks to Eren, because Eren is the owner of the founding of the show, all right? And sorry, I said the show because sometimes I speak Japanese too. and then he wants to be killed because inside himself there is Yumiru or Ymir. I mean, when the Yumiru or Ymir final appearance will appear, Eren is like her. I mean, Eren is the body, and inside there is the spirit, let's say, of Yumiru and the soul. So he wants to be killed by Mikasa, Armin, and all the others. So they will be safe. They will survive. And he is going to carry the burden to become the final form of Yumiru and Ymir and take her away from the world forever. And he is going to sacrifice himself. Zeke too is going to die, of course. But this make, and that's why look, let me check the trailer one more time. Sorry, I have to check the trailer. Sorry, because I really need. There's this part of this girl appearing in the trailer, y'all. Wait a second. I have to watch the trailer. Okay, let's watch it from the beginning. Who cares? But I really have to. Is there the volume on? Okay. I really have to watch the trailer one more time. There's this scene of this girl appearing. Come on. They adapted everything except for that, right? Okay, wait a second. I just verify by myself. Oh, come on. Yeah.
時期が迫ってる。次の戦士が選ばれるんだ。鎧の巨人の継承者が。
今の俺には分かる。お前たちは世界を救おうとした。そうなんだろう。うるさい。どうしてお前らは
Let's check.
俺を死なせてくれないんだ。
Yeah. Okay.
始祖ユミルの出現から今日に至るまで、どれほどの命が巨人に奪われたことでしょう。しかし近年、その平和思想は淘汰され、始祖の巨人はパラディ島に住むあるものに奪われました。
Okay, the forest scene. Yes. Okay. Whoa! Okay, allora, wait. Okay. Wait. There is the scene of the girl, Ymir, whatever. Everyone is pointing at her. Plus, there is even Grisha's face, actually, during that moment. Then, there is one white thing, like this, like a root or something. Then there is the tree. There's a sort of a tree. That is the coordinates, right? And there is that girl. Yeah. So next episode, are we going to watch the Yumiru Ymir's story? Or look, there is that tree, but someone is in front of that tree, right? Eren. That has to be Eren. Because he wants to meet Yumiru Ymir. And then look, with the rumbling, he's about to release the final form of Yumiru and Ymir, or Ymir. Sorry, I'm saying every time double version because then other people complain. Yeah. Eren is going to meet her somewhere. I mean, in his mind. Or he's going to have other flashbacks before starting the rumbling. Or flashbacks, or a special encountering. I mean, a special meeting with her before starting the rumbling. Because before that, we have to understand her story. We can't understand it later. That's wrong. So first we have to get in touch with her story. We have to understand her and why did she accept that from that sort of demon, that special power, right? We have to understand her side too of the story. Otherwise, it's impossible to understand. But that person, is there a person in front of the tree? Was it Grisha or what is? No, Grisha, no. I think it's Eren. Even if he has long hair. One more time, let me check the trailer. Sorry, because I saw it 1 year ago, and I put the frames. Yes, at that time I made the trailer go slowly, but I didn't understand anything at that time. Of course, now I will not put it slowly. I wanted to see just the final part. Okay, let's see.
しかし近年、その平和思想は淘汰され、始祖の巨人は
Yeah.
ハラビー島に住むあるものに奪われました。
Yeah.
その名はエレン・イエーガー。
Oh, there is a person from yes, Eren.
ハラビー島
One more time, sorry. One more time.
エレン・イエ
One more time.
その名はエレン・イエーガー。 今ここに
There was even Grisha. But there was even Grisha. Still. Why Grisha is over there still? Did he talk to Yumiru or Ymir too? Because Grisha is there in that part we still have to check of the trailer. After the forest, blah, blah, blah. Grisha is still there. Before the scene of the tree. That sort of tree, come on, it's the coordinates, okay? That is making like a sort of a tree. And there is a person in front. Yeah, I saw it correctly. That's Eren, in my opinion. Even if he seems Grisha somehow. Or was that Grisha meeting her before? So Grisha was told by Yumiru Ymir to let Eren inherit the power? Maybe he was forced by her. No, please. Now I said I hate you, Grisha. In the previous episode, I said I hate you, Zeke. Now I don't want to say one more time a poor Grisha. He was forced to. Maybe Yumiru or Ymir threatened him by saying, if you don't let your baby boy inherit the Shiso, something bad will happen or something. Wow, no way, wait, y'all. Anyway, there is just that part missing. So next week we are about to check something like this. I'm not ready. No, but anyway, the theory I told you before, it's correct in my opinion. When they will release the rumbling, before the rumbling, Eren will talk to Ymir or Yumiru, okay? Because he has the Shiso, so he can meet her thanks to the coordinate. Because Zeke can connect everything to the coordinate with the scream, right? So Eren maybe has another way to connect with the main coordinate, that is the Shiso. Maybe he can meet her, like a time traveling. Because he can see things from the future, he can see things from the past, so he can reach Yumiru or Ymir somehow before starting the rumbling. They are going to talk. This happened so many times even in Naruto. Do you remember when there are those scenes in which Naruto is in front of another character and they are talking for episodes? Yeah, Eren is meeting her. And Yumiru and Ymir is telling him her story. And after Eren gets her story, he is going to start the rumbling. And maybe he's starting the rumbling so she will stop suffering too. Because maybe she suffered. We saw all the people pointing at her, so maybe she was accused of something, and that was really painful too. So Eren is not going against Yumiru, but maybe by killing himself and by having her spirit inside the final form, thanks to the rumbling, he can let her be free too. This makes sense. Okay. Number one, Eren is meeting with the Yumiru, thanks to the connection of the coordinates. Okay. Yumiru or Ymir is going to tell him her story. Eren understands that she was feeling pain, she was suffering a lot throughout her existence, and maybe she was cursed. So she had to feel this pain over and over and over again. So Eren wants to release her forever and let her be free. And in order to do this, they needed a rumbling. By starting the rumbling, he's becoming a sort of Yumiru or Ymir. I mean, her final form, like the legend. There was that big Onna, the big woman, okay? But now there is Eren, not her. So Eren will take the form, the final form. And Eren will want Mikasa and Armin to kill him. So he will be free. She will be free. And he will sacrifice himself to let her be free. This makes sense. This makes sense. Yeah, I still believe so. Yeah. Judging by the trailer, something is happening regarding Yumiru and Ymir, and that's why there is a connection with the rumbling. Yeah. Then he is in front of the tree, okay? That's Eren. But I don't understand Grisha, why we see some frames of Grisha over there too. Wow. Please, I want to know. No, don't tell me. I mean, I'm talking to Isayama. Isayama, I want to know. But anyway, yes, another thing. Thank you, Grisha. Because if Grisha didn't kill Frida and all the others, Zeke couldn't meet Eren. And Zeke couldn't trust Grisha, of course. So the only person who could have trusted the most was a person who had experienced the same things he experienced. That means Eren. Thank you, Grisha. Because otherwise, Zeke, you should thank Grisha at this point. Otherwise, you couldn't meet Eren, but you would have met your father one more time. Can you imagine? And then, yeah, there is one thing I don't understand. Why Zeke wants to save his grandparents. I mean, he wants to condemn Grisha and his mother, But he doesn't want to condemn the grandparents who were brainwashing him the same, who were forcing him to learn the same, who were forcing him probably to become a warrior too. I don't understand why he saved his grandparents, for real. I really don't understand this. This is something I really don't get. Zeke, even your grandparents brainwashed you. Even your grandparents forced you to learn every day. Even your grandparents wanted you to turn into a warrior, to go to war. Even your grandparents didn't love you. They didn't care. They wanted to do this to be honored by Marley too, like Karina wanted, thanks to Reiner. So why are you saving them? I don't understand why he is condemning Grisha and Dinah and not his grandparents. To me, it's incoherent. He was just following Xavar's order at this point because Xavar said, save you and your grandparents. No, that's wrong. That's not coherent. Yeah, you wanted to be honored by Marley. That's the only way how to save yourself, blah, blah, blah. And how then to connect with the founding Titan on the other side. But no. Why did he save his grandparents? I still don't get it. No. Okay. Look, I told you everything I had to say, but look, wait a second. I just have to reconnect everything. Now what's going to happen? Now, in next episode, so we are watching Yumiru's story. It was part of the trailer. That's the only thing missing. First of all, we will discover Levi, what's his condition for sure. But I don't think he's dead. No. I mean, even if they tell me, oh, Levi is dead, oh, there were other people being killed before Levi and they had such a great spotlight. Why Levi doesn't need one? No. Levi is not dead. No. I can't believe this. No. And Zeke is not dead, of course. Let's see that thing moving in the forest, that piece of the body of Zeke or something that was still moving. What that is? Yeah, that's it. Okay, I told you my theory about the rumbling and stuff like that. Let's see. Oh, plus we will see the anticipation. Ooh, we see the anticipation. So at the end of episode 16, first of all, if there will be written to be continued, we understand that there is something coming. This is good. If they wanted to trick us, they don't put that to be continued. But they will put something later anyway. I don't know. In season 3 part 2, at the end, they put they put to be continued, right? Or not? I don't remember. But anyway, come on, there is something coming. Yeah. Ooh, I don't know. Because if it's a movie, there will be the trailer. I will put 2 videos on Sunday. I mean, I will put the reaction video of episode 75, and I will put the video in which there is just the anticipation. So we split. I mean, we do 2 different things. But if there is a movie, there will be the trailer. Wow. If there is a part 2, there is anything. There is something anticipating. Like season 3 part 2, in this case. Oh my. I'm not ready because now I have a big TV. So it's not like season 3 part 2 that everything was so tiny. This case is so big that oh, okay. If there's a movie, I will go to the cinema and watch it. And later I will make several live streamings. If there is part 2, of course, I will react to all episodes as always from TV by watching it on TV. But definitely there is something coming. Yeah. But if it's a movie, one is not enough, I guess. They will make 2 movies, probably. If there is a part 2, probably it's going to start in October. Yeah. Because why October is because usually the autumn season is the most important one. Usually, maybe there will be even the most layer. So this autumn season will be a combo. Can you imagine? But if there is a part 2, it will start in October. Or if it's not October, they will start in December, as much as they did now. But anyway, it will be probably the autumn season. Or in January with the winter season. To me, it's not a problem to wait. But if there's a movie, that means they are already working on it. And it will take more time, I guess. So maybe next year, around spring or something like that. I don't know. But if you wanted to ask me what I prefer, definitely I prefer the second part, because otherwise people have to wait lots of months to watch it. I mean, the movie. Plus, I will not be able to react in front of you. So I will cry at the cinema. I will bring lots of tissues by myself. But with the problems of the COVID, I think the second part is better. I don't know, but there are so many things to adapt, I guess, because we are stopping, as I heard, they were writing all the episodes plus the chapters involved. We are reaching 116, right? That means that they have 23 chapters to adapt. That means 22 or 23, based on what's going to happen next Sunday. That means they have 12 episodes still. Then it depends, because if there is the chance that they adapt one chapter in one episode, it can be longer. I don't know, because I think that the next part will be actions. I mean, lots of actions, lots of plot twists, and lots of deaths. So I don't know. Maybe a second part is more effective. Yeah. Well, there will be an anticipation of this Sunday. Oh, wow. I can't wait. Because after that, next week, there will be the last episode, the last live streamings I'm making, both of opinions and thoughts and both the theories. So over there next week, we are about to discuss for the last time before the starting point, before the second part starting. So feel free to join me, because that will be the last one. I mean, I'm about to tell you all the things that I think that are about to happen in part 2 or in the movie, plus the anticipation. Okay, let's see what's going to happen. I can't wait. I think the Liberia attack, I'm reading one of your comments, was to confirm that Willy was actually going to attack Eldia, so they used the opportunity to reduce more or less military forces and had enough time to prepare. Yeah, that could be possible. Yeah. Poor horse. Yeah, poor horse. Yeah, the episode was a little intense. Exactly. Those 2 last episodes, they were really intense. But next episode, what's about to happen now? Levi, then there is still Zeke. We don't understand what's going on. And do they start the rumbling next Sunday? I hope not, yo. I'm not ready. No. Okay, anyway, I told you my theories. Let's see if I'm right, if I'm wrong. If it's not happening now, I will check it when season 4 part 2 or the movie are coming. or because I don't think in one movie you can adapt to 12 episodes. It's impossible. They will make maybe 2 movies. Let's see. I'm so curious. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Okay, guys, thank you for watching me. And so, see you tomorrow with the last episode of The Promised Neverland Season 2. See you on Saturday with the last episode of Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1, plus episode 25 of Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai. See you on Sunday with, plus, I open a bracket. If on Saturday or on Sunday, maybe there will be other reaction videos because there is Anime Japan. So, if they are releasing new trailers coming and stuff like that, I will react to them. Close the bracket. Especially Vinland or Demon Slayer or Magia Record or something like that. I still don't know. Then if on Sunday, see you on Sunday with the last episode of this part 1. To me, it's part 1 of season 4 of Shingeki no Kyojin. And see you on Tuesday and Thursday with the last opinions and thoughts and the last rewatch of the last episode plus the ultimate theories of what's going to happen next in the future. That's it. Bye, guys. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for joining me as always in this live streaming. See you in the next video. Bye. See you.